Hello my dear students. Today I am going to discuss about the asset-backed securities. An asset-backed security is a security whose income payments and hence values are derived from and collateralized or backed by a specified pool of underlying asset. So very simple. So an asset-backed security is a security whose income payments and value both are going to be depends upon the pool of underlying asset. I'm once again telling that this is the pool of underlying assets. So this pool of underlying assets come from different ways. That may be credit cards, auto loans, mortgage loans, cash flows from aircraft leases, royalty payments, movie revenues, etc. These are all are come together a pool of underlying assets. So this pool of assets is typically a group of small and liquid assets which are unable to sold individually. So this pool of whatever we are talking about, this pool of assets we cannot sell individually. So pooling the assets into financial instruments allows them to be sold to a general investors. So this pool of assets, if we are selling to the individually, that means general investors to sell, this process we call as a securitization. This securitization also allows risk, because in this risk parameter is a little bit higher than the normal investment. Now before understand, of course this may be a little bit of confusion, but after completion of the explanation we will definitely understand what I am talking today. Okay, so let us come out with a small explanation regarding to the asset backed securities. Okay, see here we have a before talking that there is a general tendency of business transaction. We call them as a manufacturer and retailer. If we talk about these two parties relation, so manufacturer always manufacture as per the requirements of the retailers. At the same time, even retailer also always depends upon the products manufactured by the manufacturer. So the manufacturer, suppose we are talking about the books manufacturer. Each book we call them as 10 rupees per book. So this at the same time, if this transaction keep on continues, then there is a no problem, because both are going to be directly depending. But if the manufacturer facing a problem from the retailer's point of view, because every time the retailer cannot sell payment the cash within a time period, but so the manufacturer always send his required quantity to the retailer as per the pre-decided or on the point of decided price. But at the same time, retailer cannot send to the manufacturer with an immediate effect of cash. It may be depends upon the credit time period also. That means the sales also depends upon the credit, not the cash. So this creditor time period maybe depends upon these two parties as per their agreement. So sometimes it may be 60 days, sometimes it may be 90 days, sometimes there may be 30 days also, so whatever it is. So the manufacturer is going to be treated here as a receivable person, because he needs to receive the amount from the retailer. At the same time, the retailer needs to payment. So payment to the amount, payment the amount to the manufacturer. So the manufacturer receivable person. So we call here this is a asset. At the same time, payment is need to be paid by the retailer to the manufacturer. So we call them as a liability. So at the time period of after completion of the time period of 60 or 90 or 30 as per their agreement of the two parties, the both parties are very satisfied. If the retailer is unable to pay the amount to the manufacturer, then it is the problem. So the manufacturer is going to be directly charging some percentage due to violation of their agreement. So this will be benefitable to the manufacturer due to the violation of the retailer payment. So this is the simple clarification which is everyone knows it, but today it is going to be relating of our asset backed securities. Okay, asset backed securities, which is the security, which is a security which is composed by a different type of pooled assets. This pooled assets may be, suppose I already mentioned that there is a so many pooled assets are there. The first one may be the credit cards and mortgage loans and auto loans, and maybe any kind of a movie revenues, anything. So anything, these are all are come together as a pooled. Suppose you're talking about the credit cards. This credit cards may be different one. So the first user, second user, third user, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight. So these are all are going to become a pooled one. So this pooled one is belongs to the credit card. So this is the security. So this security value, that means this pooled underlying asset value, which is a value and income, all are depends upon this value of credit cards. How many people, suppose here as per the pooled data, there are 8 credit card holders are there. So this security value depends upon the value of 8 credit card holders value. Okay, so this is the data what we were discussed earlier in the theoretical way. Now we are talking about the asset backed securities. I'm just taking an example of credit cards. Suppose this credit cards is going to be offered by the banks. Okay, so the banks are going to be offered the credit cards. So banks provided to the two types of facilities to the account holder. We call them as account holder, either sometimes user. Okay, so he has two types of benefits. The one part is the account and another part is a debt. So the account point of view, the bank has so many income. So the first one, minimum bank balance charge. The next one, SMS charge. Third one, internet charge. Fourth one, credit card annual maintenance charge. So etc. These are all come together as a income to the bank. So there is no problem, because these are all our income to the bank. These are all going to be income to the bank. But there is a problem is going to face by the banks are debt, because this debt is credit card holders. So in this credit card holders, there is a feature of whatever the amount which is used by the account holder, this account holder will repay that amount after a certain time period. We call them as sometimes 40 days, sometimes 45 days also. Suppose 40 to 45 days, if you talk about 45 days later also, if the account holder is unable to pay amount to the bank, so then the bank is going to be facing the problem. So this banks are going to be a problem. So if it is a one user, that's not a problem. But if the bank faces the lot of problem from the lot of users, that means suppose you call them as 1,000 users are in the same type of a situation. They are unable to pay the amount, suppose 1,000 users. So this is definitely a problem to the banks. So that is the reason banks will go for another type of activity. That activity we call as ABS, asset backed security. So this banks will treat it that means 1,000 units. So this we call as a security. We call them as a pooled underlying asset, whatever we discussed earlier here. So these are the 1,000 users or 1,000 account holders. So this 1,000 account holders credit limit or burden value will directly transfer to the third party. So this third party may be anything. It may be a financial institution, either non-financial institution, either insurance companies, either any kind of those who are ready to bear it. Okay, so these are the third party companies. We call them as a third party. So these third party are always ready to purchase these 1,000 users security value. So after the purchasing that, so these third party can divide these thousands users of security value into A1 value, A2 value, and A3 group value. So A1, A2, A3, which is all are going to be divided, depends upon the 1000 users risk, return, and duration. So depends upon these three category, the third party person can deviated or differentiated these 1000 users value in a different categories. So now this is the process of or mechanism of asset backed securities. Now we are going to talk about in this mechanism who is going to be benefited. So let us see that first one, the account holders benefited. So account holder is going to be benefitable for 40 to 45 days of a free credit. So this is definitely a benefitable to the account holder. After certain time period, that means 45 days or 40 days later, if the debt holder, that means account holder, is unable to pay his credit card amount, then he is going to be charged some percentage as a fine, as a that means anything. It may be fine or it may be a charges, whatever it is. This charge is going to be directly transferred to the bank, from bank to the transfer to the third party person. So the third party person is directly benefiting through the bank is an X percentage of extra amount, which is directly come from the debt holder through the bank. The next one, so the third party person is benefitable, at the same time the account holder also benefitable. Then what about the benefit of banks? So banks are also going to be benefitable through the immediate selling of the 1000 user securities to the third party. So the third party directly purchasing 1000 users or 1000 account holder securities amount from the bank. So the bank is going to be facing the benefit from the third party. Okay, so the banks also getting the benefit and third party also getting the benefit, even debt holder also going, that means the account holder also going to be benefit. So the through this ABS, that means asset backed securities, this was possible, otherwise it cannot be possible. In the same, now we will go and discuss about the theoretical way of process. See here, in often separate institution called a special purpose vehicle, which is created to handle the securitization of asset backed securities. So the banks are going to be deciding a special purpose vehicle. So after the situation arises, the banks are creating the special securitized vehicle. So this vehicle is going to be dealing this entire things. So this special purpose vehicle does the creates and sells the securities and uses the process of sale to pay back to the bank that originated the underlying assets. So this all entire the process and mechanism will take care by the special purpose vehicle. So this is the asset backed securities introduction. Thank you.